Hi, this is Justin of Sonic Scoop, coming at you once again from Vlad Holiday's home studios. Vlad is from the band Born Cages, and he's been helping us out with this 3-part series brought to you by B&H on recording guitars without the amp. In this last segment, we're going to talk about what you should do for practicing and just hanging out, writing, jamming if you don't have an amp. Do you want to fire up your entire rig every time you want to play guitar? There are a few new products that are trying to offer solutions to guitarists who want to be able to play not through a conventional amp and without having to fire up their whole computer and DAW to start messing around. One of the latest is this whole Line 6 Amplify line. And today we're looking at this Amplify 30, which is kind of one of the more affordable ones in the line. It's a small, compact amp, and it's pretty minimal controls. You see drive, bass, middle, treble, a control for reverb, and then this push button to go through a few different presets loaded in. But under the hood, it actually does a lot more than that. By hitting your Bluetooth button, you can sync it up to your iPhone or Android and then control a whole suite of amp modeling software that's kind of working in this thing under the hood. So it integrates nicely with an iPad, iPhone, that kind of thing. You can play tunes right through it and then plug in your guitar and you can play along or just use it as a very small but surprisingly loud practice amp. We were kind of surprised by how convincing of a guitar amp tone you could get out of this little box with a little speaker. You've also got USB connectivity back here, as well as a Ethernet port for hooking up some of Line 6's foot control pedals. Interesting box and an alternative to having to fire up your entire Pro Tools rig or other DAW every time you want to play some guitar. So what we're going to do is have Vlad record some of this kind of just direct into a system so we can get a sense for the tones coming out of this amp, and then we'll get his feedback on messing around with the Line 6 Amplify and see if it's a decent supplement to an ampless home studio. All right, so Vlad, thanks for demoing this Line 6 Amplify for us. It's an interesting concept. Back when I used to sell guitars in my college days, people were always buying little combo amps, like an 8-inch speaker in them. And back then, Line 6 had their Spider line out that did some amp sims. But this is like a much more compact idea. And I guess it's pretty good for an environment like this, like an apartment environment. What were your initial impressions for this thing? Did you feel like it could be useful to you or anyone else? What are your impressions of the amplifier?
Yeah, it's cool. It's it feels to me like something you could have like in a living room or something, where you want to play some guitar and you can use it. Sounds good, but you can also like play music through it.
Yeah, it seems to take up a lot less space than conventional combo amp. And for me, if you're the kind of person using just software, even if you do have a decent sound system like this one, you kind of have to fire up your Pro Tools rig, plug into your interface, arm a track, pull up a plugin to start rehearsing or practicing.
Yeah.
And I guess in something like this, it would be fewer steps between you and just kind of noodling around.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like, I think a lot of people just like to jam to stuff, like put on a record and play guitar to it.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't do that enough. I should do that more. But it's fun, and I'm not even saying like, oh, I need to like replicate exactly what's happening, but just like putting music on and then just starting to play guitar to it, to the beat, to the key, to whatever.
Probably not loud enough to keep up with drums, but definitely loud enough to annoy your neighbors. If you crank this thing up all the way, you're going to get a broomstick on the bottom of your floor.
My neighbors would be furious.
For me, I have one of the competitors to this, which is the IK Multimedia iLoud. And as just a speaker to listen to tunes, that one absolutely smokes the Line 6. What it doesn't have is all of that ability to noodle around, mess with effects. But, I think much more useful as a playback system.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it was great to hear it, and it was impressive. Some of the tones you get out of that were very realistic. Some of them were a little kind of scooped or hyped up or artificial for my taste, but I was impressed by some of them in there. And it's very easy. Just bring it up on your phone, bring it up on a tablet, and kind of tweak things and save new presets. So
Yeah.
So really decent alternative to a practice amp, small
Exactly.
spaces. And if you don't have a guitar amp around the house, a way to hear yourself and play and without firing up the entire rig.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, Vlad, thanks for putting it through the paces, letting us hear it do its thing. Thanks for doing your thing. Thank you again to Vlad Holiday for having us at his home studio. Thanks for sharing some Born Cages tracks with us. This has been Justin of Sonic Scoop. See you next time.